Hey everybody, so it is Sunday and I have about $40 left here in my food clip. So that is my budget until I get paid. I get paid on Wednesdays since I get the first and the last day and the 15th of every month. But I know come Wednesday I'm not gonna have time to do any meal prep, so I've got to work with what I have today to get my meals for the week. I'm missing the job I had where I got paid on a Friday, because then I always knew my bank account was full on Friday and I had the weekend to do my meal prep. But that's how it is, and I think I can make $40 go pretty far. That's me as a single person with, I don't have a ton of dietary restrictions. I've got to go easy on like soy and dairy, but I won't get deathly ill. I just gotta be careful how much I allow myself to have. But yeah, so I do have an advantage in that area, but we're gonna see what I can do and how far I can stretch this for my meal prep for the week. Check out what I already have. I've got some bananas here. I'm gonna need to use these up soon. I do not like my bananas brown, but I need the potassium for sure. And in the fridge, I've got my last meal. We had a snow day, so that gave me an extra meal. I'll have that for dinner tonight. Need to do some fridge cleaning here. This is left over from a meal that I made. My water, got my bubbly, some carrots, some apples. I've got some spinach here, which needs to be eaten before it goes bad. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that to help preserve it. And got almond milk, got vinegar, Italian dressing, orange juice, coconut water, some vitamins. Let's check what's in the freezer. Ice cubes, frozen scallions, veggie scraps. We'll talk more about that later. Got these quick meals from Trader Joe's, frozen pineapple, and some frozen bananas, which I really prefer the fresh ones in my smoothies, but I can definitely freeze them if they're about to go bad. And some dishes drying here. Got my spices, of course. And what do I got in here? Onions, some garlic, got the usual protein powder, olive oil, flaxseed. I got some stuff from Trader Joe's in here. I usually do Trader Joe's or Aldi's for my shopping. Plenty. Okay, so my grand total was $20.84, so it came in way under, which is great because I don't like to get to zero on my food budget until right before payday, just in case of some kind of emergency, if your refrigerator breaks and everything goes bad, or if you get sick and end up needing some soup or something. But yeah, that's what you can do at Aldi's. So, and like I said, it was pretty picked over. Again, you can see that's some of the snow we just got, so I'm guessing that some deliveries might be delayed. If you've ever worked in retail, especially in the Midwest, you know that happens. And just for reference point, I do live in Minnesota, if you can't tell by the snow. So cost of food, there's no tax on food here. Could really vary between different states. But let's see what I can make with this. So here I've got my scallions in a bowl of cold water, just to soften them up a little bit before I throw them in the food processor because they were frozen. They might not completely unfreeze, but that's fine. And I've got my cilantro, some of it. I tried to use as much as I could because it goes bad really fast, but got my stems and my leaves separated. And here I've got my garlic, using more than the recipe calls for because I want to use it up and because garlic is delicious. And you see these scraps that I have right here. I showed you in my fridge. Get my phone plugged in because it's dying. I have these bags of veggie scraps, so I'm going to add those garlic scraps to this because that can be used to make veggie stock. So I'll show you that in a future recipe video. Just use this knife to smash it and peel it and then chop it up. And I have these really nice Cutco knives. You can see my reflection. These were a Christmas gift from my parents. I otherwise would not have a knife set this nice, but before this I just had a hand-me-down set that I got for free and it worked just fine. So quality knives are important. They don't have to be quite this fancy though, unless somebody wants to buy them as a gift for you or you already have them. Okay, so here's my chopped up garlic. Not completely even, don't judge my knife skills. And then last I'm going to get some lime zest from this little itty bitty lime. He's so cute. There you got this completely mutilated looking lime. And I got my lime zest. So here's my food processor that I got when I worked at Hobby Lobby with my employee discount. It's not super fancy. I wouldn't recommend it if you're wanting to cook gourmet, but hey, it gets the job done. Scallions are super slimy after being frozen, so we'll see how that affects this dish. So now I have my Jamaican jerk seasoning. Recipe I think calls for a tablespoon. I'm not going to formally measure it, I'll just sprinkle it in. This is spicy, it does have a kick, has a serious kick to it. So, I don't know, measure with your heart if you like spicy or you just like a little flavor. I do recommend, even if you don't like spicy, just adding at least a little bit for some flavor. And accidentally spilled a little bit more than I intended to, and I can already smell it, so this is gonna have a kick, but alright. And some olive oil. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, but again, I'm just measuring with my heart here. Probably add a little bit more because I'm gonna counteract for that extra seasoning I accidentally added. So now I'm going to marinate my chicken in this. I've got these reusable freezer bags that I use. Got them at Target. They are a nice one-time investment and they protect the environment. They are harder to wash, so I'm thinking maybe I'll upgrade to like silicone bags at some point that can go in the dishwasher and get clean faster. But yeah, so here's my bag full of the marinade from the food processor. And now I'm going to marinate this in the fridge. And leave there for about 45 minutes. So now I'm going to take this gigantor sweet potato and I'll put the ends and the peels in that bag in the freezer again. And it says to cut it into about 1/4 inch pieces. So I, again, don't judge my knife skills, but I'll try to get it as even as possible so that it'll cook more evenly. Here goes. Alright, so here's my sweet potatoes. They're just in a 9x13 Pyrex baking dish. And I'm just going to drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil. Again, calls for 2 tablespoons, but I'm not going to formally measure it. Whoops. Sprinkle with a little bit of pepper. And some salt. This is black lava salt. It was a gift that a friend brought me back when they traveled to Iceland. But a little bit of this goes a long way, so I'm just... I can't remember my salt nutrition facts, but I think it has more iodine in it, so it's better for you. But right. Okay, I got sidetracked and the oven is just ready now, but I'm going to grab my marinated meat. Just arrange it here on top of the potatoes. Okay, it's covered in foil and it's going to go into the oven for about 40 minutes. All right, so now I'm going to make the salsa. So I'm going to start by chopping up these cilantro leaves. So chopped up leaves, and the recipe calls for 6 radishes. I'm using 8 just to use them up a little bit faster since these are small. Here's my phone cord. Cilantro and chopped radishes. Those are fun to chop with a huge knife because they're so small. And of course these will go into my veggie scrap bag. So I've got my zested lime here, sliced in half. I'm going to squeeze these. And this is going to be the tricky part. You normally just need half a can of pineapple, so I'm guessing a few of these spears will be plenty, but I want to preserve the juice. So I'm going to try to kind of hack it up over the bowl as best I can without slicing my fingers off. Again, not going to film that. That's definitely going to take both hands. So there it is with the pineapple. And at this point, they do recommend adding some habanero sauce just to taste. I didn't see that at Aldi. Again, everything was pretty bare, but I think with the jerk seasoning, it's gonna be just fine for flavor. If you are one of those people who don't like to mix fruit with like meat and vegetables, normally that's me. I do recommend adding the pineapple, or if you don't really like pineapple, adding some sort of sweet citrusy fruit to it just to help counterbalance all the strong flavors that are going to come through. Okay, so time's up. You can see it is still sizzling like crazy. I'm going to let it rest for a bit just so that the juices really soak into the chicken and don't dry it out. I know you're supposed to do that with chicken breasts. I don't know about chicken thighs. I guess making this up as I go. But yeah, I'm just going to let it sit and then I will add the salsa. Got my meal prep containers. Got these at Target. They're a complete set. All right, so it was messy scooping it out of there. I gotta wipe this area down, but got my lunches all set. So those are all in the fridge. Just gotta grab one and put it in my lunchbox and go in the morning. Yeah, still haven't wiped the counter down. I'll do that in a minute, but I just want to show you my breakfast plans for the week. So like I said, I've got the spinach here that really needs to be eaten. I'll show you what I'm gonna do with the rest of it in just a little bit. But I'm going to put what's fresh into my smoothie. It's a little wilty, but that's okay. Then I'm going to add some almond milk. Whatever milk you want to use is fine. I am sensitive to dairy and soy, so I use almond. These leftover pineapple spears, I'll break them up a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit of this flaxseed. Yes, these are some things that I got from Trader Joe's, so occasionally I splurge there. Especially for non-perishable stuff like, well, not completely non-perishable, but stuff that's going to last a little bit longer like this. I'm going to add some protein powder. I got the egg white. It was cheaper, and obviously eggs are a great source of lean protein. Again, I've got to avoid protein powders made with soy and dairy because they can really upset my stomach. I found this flavor takes some getting used to. We'll see how I feel at the end of it. I don't want to throw it out because obviously good protein powder is expensive and taste, but maybe I can grow to like it, who knows. So in the morning I will add a banana and just blend this quick. And then I will put it in probably just a glass like this. You can use the blender to serve and go, but I find this easier to keep track of. And then I can put the blender in the kitchen sink to soak for a little bit since the egg white powder does get really gooey. We're gonna see if we can prolong the life of this spinach a little bit. So this blender, $12 at Savers. The other one, the individual sized one, was $20 at Target. Okay, so unfortunately a lot of this was pretty slimy and gross, but I did save a chunk of it. I'm gonna add some almond milk to it. You could add water too, but I find that that waters it down when you use it in smoothies. So, almond milk. So that didn't make a whole lot. You can make a lot more if you get the whole bag, or especially with those big boxes of spinach fresh. I'm just gonna pour this into this silicone ice cube tray. I'm just sticking this in the freezer to make spinach cubes. And again, I wasn't able to save a ton, but at least saved some. That should be enough to make smoothies, at least until I get paid, if not for the rest of the week. And this is going in the dishwasher. And here are all the dishes I dirtied doing that. Got my plastic bags here soaking in some dish soap. I'm hoping that that will get the smell and any grease out of them. So by the way, Heather, if you see this, thank you for posting that Caribbean chicken recipe on your blog. It's one of my go-tos. And Megan, if you see this, thank you for that blending the spinach and freezing it trick. That has saved me a lot of smoothie greens over the years. So thank you. So that was making my meals on $20.86 plus things that I already had in the fridge. And again, I am single, childless, just have a cat. I live in Minnesota, so please don't think that if you are spending more than that because you have a family to feed, if you have dietary restrictions, if you live in a place where food is more expensive, the cost of living is higher, $20.86 might not be realistic for you. But this is just to show a way to get creative when you are on a tight budget and some nutritious meals that you can come up with.